let me back up for a second and tell you, what my biggest breakthrough that, helped me to start to live that life that I want to live. And I think you might relate to it. I was a corporate strategy consultant in Boston, and on paper, this was a great job, right? I was making tons of money. I was working with the smartest people, working with the biggest companies, trying to solve those $100 million questions, but it was at the expense of all of my time, all of my energy, and 60 to 80-hour work weeks was the norm. I was forced to sacrifice the values that I held closest, nearest, and dearest to me. That was health. That was happiness. That was freedom in order to make PowerPoint slides for the client. So I was doing a lot, but really not feeling that I was making anything happen. And I was sacrificing what was nearest and dearest to me at the same time. So I made that commitment to myself to doing what I needed to do at the time to start to be able to make an impact into the future. And for me, that was building an online platform, building a brand about staying healthy, staying fit. We're all working within the constraints of a corporate work week. So I started to build that platform. My thought was that I was going to build this platform, this content platform, and be like Tim Ferriss, right? I was going to write these books, build this platform, have a whole bunch of followers, and be able just to, do what I want to and speak everywhere because I had so many good articles written and people followed me from all over, right? That was my dream. That was my goal. I eventually got this sabbatical opportunity to go work with a fitness startup in San Diego and help them create their strategy and scale. So I took that immediately. It was during this process of helping that company that I joined a mastermind group with 2 entrepreneurs, 2 coaches. It was in that first session together that they shattered my world, right? My vision was creating this writing a book. It was creating an online content platform and being able to get followers that way. But what my coaches did is they took stock of my actual life and the thoughts that were holding me back. So here's what they said. It was basically, all right, Matt, here's what you want to do, right? You want to have a content platform. You want to get on stages. You want to really build yourself up and connect with amazing people and help others. So why? You're already doing that with that company. You're already crushing it with that fitness startup company. You're already helping them take their experience and put it into a platform and scale. Why not do that again now with another client? Why not, while you're doing that, make all that content? It's not one before the other. It's doing what you're doing great now, pulling out your strengths and helping others with them. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Never thought about it that way. So long story short, I ended up connecting with someone who I thought might be a good first client, right? I took their advice, blindly followed it, and started to pursue my own passion and figure out how I can bring on clients. So I got this guy on the phone, and long story short, I present him this entire big proposal that I built for him, and I took the advice of my coaches of like pricing really high, price like way above what you think you could. So I did that, got to that last slide where I read the price, and I stayed quiet, right? It was the most tense, probably 15 seconds of my life because that price that I put, it was 19,000 pounds. At the time, $24,000, right? I was just this crazy, naive guy who was looking to become an entrepreneur, so I figured, like, isn't that what you're supposed to do? Price really high. So for those 10 seconds, I waited, and here's what I heard. Matt, with the quality of this proposal, that's about the exact number that I was expecting to see. Inside, I was like, oh my God, what? Really? Oh my God. So long story short, like we ended up cutting the project a little bit. We agreed on a $15,000 project. So with one phone call, I went from a corporate associate to a high-ticket, 5-figure international consultant. So just a couple of hours, my coaches were able to figure out that one thing that was limiting me, provide me with some next steps, and change the entire course of my life. So it was actually even before this time. Back when I was in consulting, I took a visit to San Diego, and I walked out on the beach, Crystal Pier. I was in Pacific Beach, and I made a commitment to myself, right? This was actually winter in Boston, so it was nice, and came to San Diego, and the weather was amazingly warm. I was there. I made that commitment to myself that I'm going to get back here. I'm going to move here. I'm going to build a life for myself here, doing what I love, helping people in the way I love. And you know what the byproduct's going to be? It's going to be impact. It's going to be income. It's going to be me living the life I want to live. Now, that's exactly how I help my clients, right? It's figuring out what are the shortcuts that they can take to save the hustle and the grind and the years of learning. Usually that shortcut isn't building. It's not building anything. Usually it's cutting through. What are these big assumptions that we have? What are these big beliefs that are blocking us from creating, from abundance, and navigating beyond them, reinstalling new and better beliefs and having those next steps.